clean so far. Yo, what's good people? It's Ocean here. Welcome to the video. I just got back to my home studio here in Thailand. After a very eventful summer, I was outside a bit too much maybe, having a good time, DJing, eating some good food, but now it's time to lock back in and be on routine again. Come with me in a day in the life of a music producer slash DJ, getting back to it. Let's go. First things first, we need to hit the gym and get a coffee. Morning coffee secured. I think the last time I did a vlog, I said that I wasn't addicted to coffee. I low-key still don't think I'm addicted to coffee, but I do like it a lot. It helps with the mornings. Coffee cheers. First things first, we are on the way to the gym because we gotta get a workout in before we even start production. Because I swear, this producer life will turn you potato. And we don't wanna be a spud, especially if we're gonna be doing this in the next 20, 30 years to come, unless AI decides to take over our jobs. Who said that? Let's see what's on the menu. The best workout, chesticle day. Let's do this. I think one of the biggest reasons why I'm such into the gym, and low-key maybe a gym advocate, especially for music producers, is because I feel like over everything, it's the biggest metaphor to life, or even for music production. So for example, you want to get good, you have to put in the time, you have to put in consistency over a really long time, which is just like making beats. In the beginning, we want to be sick, but it's not until we keep doing it over and over and over and over again, keep making loads of beats, and then we get good, just like the gym. You won't be Popeye in 2 days, but maybe over 6 months, you'll see the change. And honestly, in the moment, it's hard, it doesn't feel great, but after a workout, usually you feel really good and you're good to go for the rest of the day. I haven't heard this song in ages. This was like a sick era for Chris Brown, innit? Like these West Coast kind of beats. Was it DJ Mustard that done it? Yeah, this was a great time for Chris Brown, man. These songs that were coming out were crazy.
2014?
Yeah, 2014, 2015. That one was exhausting, I'm not gonna lie, I pushed it today. Workout complete, in the bag. It's like a nice start to the day. I feel like Bangkok is such a hectic kind of city at the same time. Very peaceful, it's like a two-sided thing. There's so many people, cars, bikes on the road, but when you think about it, it's not that noisy, it's not even that loud. And it's crazy because sometimes I feel like I'm in my house, in my bubble, and I don't feel like I'm actually in Thailand until I step out my doors and the aircon switches off and then humidity just hits you pow in the face. Then we're like, yes, we're in Thailand, we're in Bangkok. Just got back from the gym, time for some breakfast. If you remember back in the days, if you're a true OG of the channel, you remember I used to spam oats for breakfast. But I feel like now being in Thailand, honestly eating oats doesn't really feel like the vibe. Oats just feels kind of hearty, perfect for London, but here it's all about yogurt. So this is the perfect breakfast. Yogurt, a bunch of blueberries, and a few dates. I ain't got a knife, so. And then pow, you've got the perfect breakfast, perfect for creativity. I'm calling this the creative diet. You heard it here first. Literally just whole foods that ain't gonna make you crash during the day. So since I've been making a lot more electronic music recently, I've been sound designing a lot and creating some new ones from scratch. And I saw in a comment a couple of months ago that you wanted a house kit. So I've put together a sample pack called Core. It's a serum pack, it's got drum sounds in there as well. And I put it together, I guess you could call it curated sounds that just work. I don't have to flick through 1,000 kicks. These ones, I know if I just choose it, pow, we're in, we're good to go. It's completely free. I'm gonna be using it today to make a beat, but I'm also gonna leave a link if you do wanna grab it. Today, I really wanna make something euphoric. I feel like I've made quite a few kind of clubby tracks for the sets, but I really wanna make something very euphoric. And today I'm gonna try and switch it up a bit and be very intentional with my curation, because sometimes I go into it with not much expectations and just make and create and see what happens. But I feel like when I do those sessions, sometimes I don't always finish my ideas. To be honest, I don't even always go back to them. But when I'm a bit more intentional, you could say that I'm a bit more productive. I feel like there's a balance. But let's see. I'm going to go for like something a little bit faster today. Let's go for 144 BPM. And let's start with the kick. By the way, this is the core kit. All the sounds that I've put in here. Let's see what we got. We're just going to go for a simple 4 on the floor pattern. And let's throw in an open hat on top of that. I like that one. And we put a clap in that as well. I mean, honestly, once you get the kick, the open hat, the clap down, and it's kind of vibing, then we're off to a good start. That's like a good foundation to just keep building from. And then I think I want to just layer some top loops on top of that. And I got a few in the pack as well. Let's throw in one of these ones. Let's try that. And then literally all I'm doing is just leveling it as I go along, just to make sure that everything sits right. But we're definitely going to need a few more drum loops in there. So I just previewed a bunch of different loops and I've drawn in these two. So altogether it sounds like this. A little bit of effects on that as well, just so it doesn't clash too much. But what I like to do when I do use my drum loops is just to group them and then put more effects on them all together. So usually I'm taking out a lot of that low end, just so the kick punches a little bit more. We could even throw a tiny bit of side chaining, not too much, because then it kind of like swings a bit weird. And then with these two on top, they're sounding good. I like that groove. Let's put a melody on top of this now. And I'm going to quantize it to make sure it's all in time. Repeat this section over. But there is something I do want to change in this part. I want it to sound like even more stabby. Oh, that sounds cool with the cutoff down. Maybe we could even automate that. Alright, let's copy this down. And then I'm just going to find another synth to layer that with. That sounds cool. It's got like a stutter effect. And then to be honest, we could probably just put the bass in from there. I want the bass line to be simple because there is so much going on with the plucks. Within the core kit, I've got my go-to 808s. They always slap. And even just raise up the cutoff a little bit. And then I just want to sidechain it to the kick, so the kick is just a bit more punchy. I feel like a vocal chop would probably fit with this. And the song that I actually have in mind, I've got it downloaded, is this one by I feel like we could pitch it, chop it up, see what happens. Might fit, might not work, but it's just all trial and error. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we've got a second camera. We're switching it up. We're going back to how things were in 2020, 2021 when you was working with me, innit? Got the high cinematic lens. What gear are we working with here? Because you've got the big boy rig right now.
Right, so I'm shooting on the Sony FX3. And I got the bad boy lens, which is the Sure anamorphic T1.9 lens.
Jeez.
This is a cinema lens, and I've been using it for a few projects that we're working on.
The quality is looking clean. I don't think I've ever had a video that's going to look as good as this one. So we got the vocal. I don't think it's actually the right key. We might have to pitch it up a little bit. I want the and ooh ooh. Yeah, +1 works perfect. I actually really want to just repeat that ooh ooh. I love repeating vocals in my tracks. So I think what I'll do, I will just repeat it every 2 bars. And I'm just using it as almost like an ad-lib, not even the full-on vocal yet. We'll just tease it. I think we've got the core elements, the drums, the main melody, a little vocal chop. But now it's really all about the arrangement. The arrangement is where everything starts to make sense. And usually I like to just make sure that I start with the drums, because when we're playing the tracks out, that's how we're going to mix it in. And all the melodic elements, that's going to come a lot later. to make this a lot easier on myself, I'm just gonna repeat everything over and just process of elimination. So we could start with something like this for the drums, and then we start to build up the track even more. I'll probably put in the bass further along in the track, and then we can start to introduce the melodic kind of elements. And something that I like to do, just not to give away everything, is to just add in a filter. So for example, instead of having everything come in here, what we can do is just filter it in as we go on. We'll automate that and the filter will just keep coming off. It's shaping up nicely with the plucks, but that's all we got. We still need to add in the leads. We still got to add in breakdowns and stuff. I feel like this one's got potential for sure. I've added some more structure, and all I'm really doing is a lot of automation to keep things interesting. So as it goes along, volumes increase, intensity of the reverb increases, until we start to get to the breakdown part. We'll fix that. Kind of like that effect. I think it sounds a bit more abstract. We can have the lead going throughout the breakdown, and then also just continue it after the drop. To make the drop and the breakdown a bit more intense, and to just give it a bit more oomph, I've put in a few different sounds like an impact. So once it hits, it goes boom. And then also for the breakdown, I've layered in a few different uplifters. And I layer that also with a crash and a kick. But the kick is filtered. So when it does drop, the real kick comes in and it's just like pow. Bit more impactful. So let's take a listen to what we've got so far. We could even filter that in. And then we drop. That's sounding clean so far. It's like really, really simple, but it hits at the same time. And that's what I'm definitely trying to go for these days. It's easy to get caught up and overproduce and everything, but sometimes I feel like less can be more. But in saying that, I still want to add maybe just a couple more layers. I don't think we need to put the lead there because there's going to be like too much going on, but maybe afterwards, as we progress through the hook, we can start to introduce new leads and stuff. And here I'd probably just filter it in again. Have it really widen in your face. I'm liking that. Just finished up a full day of working. That boot took me forever. But right now we are on the way to a restaurant. We're gonna get some sushi. I'm gonna show the guys the best spot for sushi in Bangkok. Finally pulled up to the spot. It took about an hour to get in here, just because the food is that good and this place is super popping. Literally, you just take the sushi off the conveyor belt and you're good to go. We gotta get a rating out of 10 for you for this.
Let's not judge my chopstick skills. 9 out of 10.
It's all about the wasabi. Mixing the wasabi with the soy. Then a bunch of ginger. Plates stacked up. Ibrahim went in. Azaz went in. And that is a day in the life of a producer locking in. I definitely want to do some more vlogs in the future, showing a bit more behind the scenes and just picking up the camera and talking to you guys. So if you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next one.